Hi guys, we're here at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham and I'm joined by the lovely Clare Bowen. How are you, Claire?
I'm really good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome back to Birmingham.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be back. Everyone here was just wonderful the last time we were here, so it's like, oh, it's exciting.
Yeah, well, you played at Symphony Hall with the Nashville tour a few years back, so does it amaze you how loyal the Nashville fans are, that they'll come back and see you and your own show?
You know what? They're so wonderful. They're always so welcoming and lovely. It's just so nice to be back, and I'm so grateful that they've stuck around.
And you've also got striking matches on the road with you as well, who've been a massive part of the Nashville soundtrack, so how excited are you to have those on the road with you?
Oh, they are such wonderful people. The last time I saw them play was at the Opry, and they're just... Not only are they two of the nicest people you'll ever meet, they're incredibly talented, so I think fans are going to be really happy this evening.
And on the Nashville tours, you actually played some of your own material, so how much of that was a good kind of gauge to what's going to work in front of a live environment?
It's nice to be able to test your songs out at the O2 Arena. No pressure. No, it was really lovely. Steve Buchanan, who came up with the idea for the show Nashville, ran the Opry, and he was always so encouraging that we find our own artistry and be ourselves on stage. So to get to do that, I have to thank him so much for encouraging me to be me and play those songs and get them out there, and then to be able to come back to the Symphony Hall where we played with the Nashville cast is just such a privilege.
And the reaction to the album has been phenomenal so far on social media. You've had some lovely reviews. So has it been quite almost a scary process to get it out into the world finally after all this time?
I think it's more exciting than scary. You kind of, as an artist, you live in this constant state of like vulnerability all the time and the unknown. So you can either be terrified of it or you can get really excited, and it's much more fun being excited. So I'm just very grateful to everyone for all the sweet things they've said.
And tell us a little bit about the song selection for the album, because I assume you've got a lot of songs that you've written yourself, and you must have a load of songwriters offering you stuff as well. So how difficult is it to kind of cut it down to 12 songs or whatever it is?
It's really hard. There are so many songs that weren't they weren't quite. I don't know. It's hard to put it into words, because you only get one debut album. There are so many songs that might belong on the second or third. So I've got all of these wonderful songs waiting to come out, but the ones that I do have out there, they're all stories from my life, stories from the lives of people I love, and the ones that I didn't write, I had a little hand in anyway. Like I will have written a bridge or changed a word. Like Laurie McKenna was so sweet, and Stephanie Lambring herself wrote "Grace of God." And I called and I said, would it be all right if I changed one word? So, because I love this song, and to make it pertain to my family, because that song reminds me so much of my parents and my grandparents. It's one word, and of course Laurie and Stephanie were like, of course, it's totally fine, it's lovely. You know, it's just, so that's a testament to the city of Nashville. It's just, everyone's so encouraging, and they're very inclusive, and they're congratulatory of one another all the time. So it's quite a process choosing the songs, but I'm really proud of the album, and I'm hoping that in my stories that I'm telling, that other people can see their own stories.
And it was produced by Josh Kaufman, wasn't it, as well? So tell us a little bit about working with him, and because he's a massively experienced musician and producer. So.
Oh, he is wonderful. I met him at a Bob Weir show. We were all there with the Grateful Dead, and they introduced me to Josh, and he's just such a cool cat. We started the album, and we wrote a couple. I think we wrote Liza in the Shadow, and we finished Lullaby. Lullaby's a funny one. It was it's probably the oldest song on the album. It's one of the first songs I wrote when I got to Nashville, so to have one of the very first songs 5.5 years later still there on the album is like, oh. And Josh was so encouraging. That's the coolest thing about him. He's open to a very wide genre of artistry. He doesn't cut you off at the knees, and it's just so encouraging, and that's what you need as an artist to thrive. We started the album in Woodstock, New York, on the side of a hill in a blizzard. It was amazing. And we finished it in Southern Ground Studios in Nashville. And Josh brought his wonderful team in. Buddy Miller, Josh is a massive fan of Buddy Miller, and Buddy Miller is my greatest musical mentor. He came he actually plays on Tide Rolls In. Right. Came in to visit one day in the studio. He was like, I just want to listen. I was like, oh, do you want to play? And he was like, oh, okay. He's such a good sport. And it's just these wonderful memories of like all of Josh's friends coming in from New York. I have this great memory of our keys player, Sam Kassir, hanging out of the top of an upright piano to get the sound on Tide Rolls In with the muted keys playing directly onto the strings to get that really, like, you'll hear it in the show. It was fun. But I don't know, I got all these wonderful like little vignettes and snapshots of memories, and it was just such a wonderful experience recording with Josh.
Have you got a personal favourite on the album? Because mine is Doors and Corridors, but I was wondering whether it's...
That is so lovely.
What's yours?
I don't even have a favourite colour. Right. I like rainbow. it's hard because they're all stories from different parts of my life, but Doors and Corridors is definitely, that's so sweet of you. That was written with Brandon Robert Young and Amy Wadge, who's a wonderful Welsh songwriter. And of course you guys know her, goodness, and she's become a dear friend, and she's so lovely. But to have a song about my childhood, that was an idea that, you know, she came to the house in Nashville, was sitting in our living room, and she came over and said, I had this idea that there was something a friend of mine said, that life is a series of doors and corridors, and depending on which one you go through, it leads you to where you're meant to be, and you don't ever know what's on the other side of the door. So it's sort of where the idea started. And I was like, well, I've never written a song really about my childhood and all of that. There's certain details of it in that song, so that really means a lot that you like that one. It's for my parents, I guess. But I don't have a favorite. I love hearing people's reactions to them, and you know, everybody knows a warrior, and it might be themselves, and that's okay. And you know, everybody needs a little by little sometimes, and you know, people might know an Aves, and it might be themselves, and that's okay. So it's more, for me, I don't have a favorite. I think the all-inclusiveness of loving all of the songs just goes with wanting to bring people together more.
And you also feature on Brandon's new single, Warmth of You, don't you? So tell us a little bit about that. It's been good fun.
I am so proud of him. He's wonderful. He's, of course, going to be on the shows tonight. He wrote that with my brother, Timothy James Bowen, who is actually going to be opening for us in Glasgow. I don't think I've told anybody yet, and he'll be opening First of Three this evening as well. It was written in our kitchen in Nashville shortly after Brandon and I got married, and I was sitting at the table when they started the song, and I had to go off to work. I wish I'd been there. I wish I'd been a part of that, but it wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't just Brandon and Timothy writing it. And I came home, and Brandon sang it down to me, and I just about fell apart. But Brandon's such a wonderful artist. He's taught me a lot about being on the road. He toured with an artist named John Hyatt for about 9 years, so he showed me just about everything there is to know about living on a tour bus, which I love. And he's just, I don't know, there are these experiences that I get to have, and I'm so lucky, like playing at the Symphony Hall tonight, playing at Royal Albert Hall a couple of years ago, playing at the O2, all of these wonderful, wonderful things that I get to do and people I get to meet, and to look out into the audience and see that the stories we're telling are affecting people and finding their way in is so beautiful. But then to look to my side and see the love of my life standing there experiencing that too is the most wonderful thing. I'm very proud of Brandon for Warmth of You.
You just mentioned playing at these huge venues on the Nashville tours, but are you at a point now where you're almost quite relieved to put that to one side and come out as Clare Bowen and show the world what you're all about?
Oh, it's not relief. Like I said, you live in the unknown. You never know what's going to happen. And we were lucky that we had 6 months to say goodbye when we finished the Nashville show to one another, because a lot of the time people come in, they're like, all right, we're done, turn the lights off, and that's it. But we had 6 months and then a wonderful tour to say goodbye. So it's more, you just never know what's going to come next. And the fact that, like, I would have found a way to release the album, and we would be back shooting right now if Nashville had kept going as the television side of things. But I think the thing to remember is that just because the on-screen aspect of the Nashville television show is a closed chapter, the music has just begun, and I'm so grateful to have this time to service and honour the album that I've spent 5.5 years writing, and all of those people I met in Nashville inspired me to do so. So it's, I don't know, it's all very exciting and somewhat overwhelming.
Well, Clare, best of luck with the tour.
Thanks.
We're loving the album, and hopefully catch up with you very, very soon.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everyone.